You're in a group chat that's gotten toxic. One person keeps making jabs, and you know exactly what to do. Mute the thread, leave the group, block the number, or just stop replying until it dies out. If it's a coworker, you loop in HR. If it's a stranger online, you report and move on. You have a dozen quiet exits available to you, and you use them without thinking twice. 40,000 years ago, none of those exits existed. If someone in your band of 20 or 30 people decided to make your life miserable, you couldn't mute them, block them, or transfer departments. You were going to see that same face by the fire tonight, and every night after that, possibly for the rest of your life. So the question is simple. With no group chats to leave and no HR department to call, how did early humans deal with a bully they were stuck with forever? Start with the obvious problem. There was nowhere to go. Leaving your band alone in the ancestral world wasn't like moving to a new apartment. It usually meant losing your food-sharing network, your defense against predators, your entire survival system overnight. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm, who spent decades studying hunter-gatherer social structures, documented this exact bind in his book Hierarchy in the Forest, 1999. Walking away from a bully could be a death sentence. Staying meant enduring them. Here's what doesn't make sense until you think about it. Our ancestors solved this not by running, but by making sure bullies almost never got the chance to become bullies in the first place. That's where it gets interesting. Boehm's research across dozens of foraging societies found something called reverse dominance hierarchy, a system where the group actively, deliberately, and collectively keeps any one person from gaining too much power over everyone else. Think about that for a second. Modern workplaces build entire HR departments to manage this. Early humans built it into daily social behavior instead. The first tool was ridicule, and it was brutal. Among groups like the Mbuti of the Congo rainforest, studied extensively by anthropologist Colin Turnbull, anyone who tried to dominate others through aggression or bragging was met with mockery, sharp, public, and relentless, until the behavior stopped or the person backed down. Here's the part nobody talks about. Humiliation used this way wasn't cruelty. It was a pressure valve the whole group controlled together, aimed specifically at anyone trying to grab power they hadn't earned. If ridicule didn't work, the next tool was gossip, and this one is easy to underestimate. Evolutionary psychologists have argued that gossip evolved as a low-cost, low-risk way to police bad behavior without direct confrontation, spreading information about who couldn't be trusted long before that person could do more damage. A reputation, once damaged, was almost impossible to repair in a group of 30 people who saw each other every single day. You didn't need a formal punishment. Everyone simply knew. And if someone still refused to fall in line, the final tool was exile, and it was as close to a death sentence as a punishment could get without violence. Being cast out of the group meant facing predators alone, finding food alone, surviving winter alone, odds that dropped catastrophically for a single person without a band's protection. Boehm's cross-cultural data suggest execution or banishment for repeat offenders, while rare, existed precisely because the alternative, letting one person terrorize the group indefinitely, was considered more dangerous to everyone's survival than losing that person entirely. Here's what nobody tells you about ancient bullying. It wasn't ignored, and it wasn't tolerated the way we might assume primitive life would allow. It was actively, systematically punished by the entire community, using tools ranging from mockery to total banishment. The group didn't wait for a manager to intervene. The group was the manager, and it never clocked out. So picture your ancestors' answer to a bully in the fire circle. No escape, no transfer request, but constant social pressure keeping dominance in check before it could take root. Ridicule to shrink an ego before it grew dangerous. Gossip to spread the truth faster than the bully could spread lies, and exile waiting in reserve, a consequence so severe it rarely had to be used twice. 3 tools, 1 relentless goal. Nobody gets to dominate the group and get away with it. Zoom out for a second. That instinctive rage you feel watching someone bully another person, the urge to call it out, to warn others, to see the person face consequences, isn't a modern invention of fairness. It's a 40,000-year-old enforcement system still running quietly in your brain, built for a world where letting one bully thrive could cost the whole group its survival.
So the next time you mute a group chat or block a difficult coworker with a single tap, remember what that same impulse used to require. Somewhere behind that easy, instant exit is a much older version of you, one who couldn't leave, couldn't block, couldn't scroll away, and instead had to stand in the firelight and fight for fairness the hard way, one whispered word at a time. Your ancestors didn't have an unfollow button. They were the unfollow button.